Hmm. There's got to be something in here that makes me fall down all the time. Whoa! Good morning, folks. No rides today. It's a little overcast, as you can see. I wouldn't have a problem riding, but if my rear brakes were good. They actually still have friction material left on them. They were just getting low, as I noticed a few weeks ago when I did my brake flush video. The pad thickness is getting low. So today I'm going to do brakes. First we'll start with the brake pads. These are OEM Moto Guzzi brake pads, and there's a reason I chose them. I'll get to that. And these are the tools that I'm going to use to replace them. We have a 1/4-inch drive ratchet, 5mm socket, an extension, a 3/8 drive ratchet, a 3/8 drive extension, a 10mm socket, a wide screwdriver, and a set of water pump pliers, small channel lock type pliers, and a piece of cardboard. Don't forget the cardboard. So the reason I'm going with OEM brake pads is because I've recently read on, I think, a forum that the lower edge of the brake pad has an indentation on it on the OEM pads. On the EBC and aftermarket, some aftermarket, I only heard EBC on this particular forum. They don't have that that indentation to allow for complete pad installation, and it would get in the way of mounting the caliper to the caliper bracket correctly. So we're going to start on the right side of the motorcycle, and we're going to go in with the 5mm Allen socket and just loosen up the these pins a little bit. Okay, maybe a 1/4 or a 1/2 turn, just so that you're not fighting with it when you get the caliper off and need to loosen them to remove the brake pads. Now we're going to remove the brake caliper, loosen the bolts, disengage these plastic clips, completely remove the bolts. Something important you want to do or not do: don't push against the brake rotor in order to compress the caliper. That's bad, and it could warp the rotor. So I just pull the brake caliper off and then finish removing these pins. So once the pins are out, you take the brake pads out, you take the caliper bracket out, and then you take the brake pad, put it back in against the piston. Remember the piece of cardboard? Put that on the back of the caliper so you don't scratch it. And then you compress the caliper with the channel locks. And I don't know if you noticed on my last video, or if I even pointed out, that I left the reservoir halfway full to accommodate me changing brake pads in a couple of weeks, because I knew I had to do this. So you do want to clean the caliper bracket. There's some dust that accumulates here, and you're going to put some anti-seize here and maybe some silicone paste here. Sometimes it has some pitting. You just clean it up with a wire brush. This is pretty clean from what I've seen on some other bikes. If it helps, you can take a can of brake clean and spray it onto a rag and use the rag to clean it up. Or if you're fancy, like me, and have a ultrasonic cleaner, you can use one of those. But this for now, with the little amount of dirt it has, this will do fine. And before, you can put silicone paste on the pins, or if you have brake caliper lube and you want to use that, that's fine too. They market stuff specifically for brake caliper lube. And then on this tin, I don't know, thrust plate, is that what you would call it, I guess, where the brake pads butt up against when you step on the rear brake lever. Now we're going to place the caliper bracket in first. Then the inboard pad is going to go up into the, into the recess on the inside top of the caliper. And then the outboard pad. And there's a tin spring plate in there that's going to put tension on them, and that's basically so they don't rattle around when you're riding. And then you want to start the pins by pushing up on the brake pads, because you're fighting that tin plate, anti-rattle plate. And get the pins started. By the way, these have Loctite on them. I don't know if you noticed, but I put a fresh drop of Loctite, blue Loctite. Please do not use red Loctite on these. And then, yeah, tighten these almost all the way. We're not going to torque them until it's actually on the bike. And then we're going to spread the pads apart because to clear the rotor. Okay. I'm going to place these down here. Start the bolts. And I'm using hand tools because that's what most people have. The other week I used my impact gun, cordless impact gun, fancy dancy stuff, and most people don't have that. So doing stuff like that, it's a little hard to identify. But this is from my tool set that I used as a professional automotive motorcycle technician when I was in the field. Run these in by hand. So I do have this set to 25 Newton meters. That's the caliper bolt torque right here. All right. These bolts do not get Loctite. Okay, they're set. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I'm holding it at the head. All right. Moto Guzzi does not give a specification for the pins on the rear brake caliper that hold the pads in. But if I remember correctly, BMW said they get 10 Newton meters. And with the length of this extension here, I'm going to go with 12. And I know these torque wrenches are fancy, and I was just talking about just using regular hand tools. If you get a simple torque wrench from Harbor Freight, that'll work as long as you have some kind of reference. So the last two steps are: one, pump the brake pedal up to extend the shoes back out to the rotor. You don't want to get on the bike and then put your foot down and whoosh, goes right to the floor. That's car terminology for low brake pedal. Second is check your brake fluid level. It looks like I'm going to have to adjust this. It's a little too much. So I'm going to have to take the reservoir off and the cap off. So there's a 4mm bolt that holds this on. My T-handle. Can take that off. Oh. Ah. There's a wire security loom that keeps the cap from unscrewing. Ah. I don't know what made me think that the brake pads were, that the brake fluid was above max. But it's actually a touch below max, which is perfect. But I just opened that up and I heard a little gasp of air, which might be unwanted pressure. Either way, I think it's a good idea to open the cap after you're done replacing the brake pads. And this will go back on. Very important disclaimer. Don't attempt this job if you're not sure of your mechanical ability. This is brakes we're talking about. Very important for your safety as well as the safety of others. If you have friends in the industry, or just want to just bring it to the local shop, do that. This video is more for entertainment purposes than anything. So, but if you did learn something, that's good. I'm happy I can teach you. Like I said, I like to share my knowledge. If you got something out of this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, maybe next time we'll go for a ride.